I think a lot of young couples lazily, and not meaning it in a negative or pejorative way, but they just sort of naturally assume that they're just going to have their own biological children, and they never stop to think, what happens if we can't for some reason? That was for sure the case with us. So my name is Frankie Dame. I'm originally from West Branch, Michigan, and now I'm from Lowell.
And I'm Kelsey Dame. I am from Grand Rapids, and I also live in Lowell. And this is Isabel. She lives in Lowell too.
Yeah, so I grew up listening to Breakpoint when I was a kid. When we would drive in here there as a family or turn the radio on in the evenings, I would hear Chuck's voice all the time. And then I kind of just stopped when I got into college and law school, just busy. But then after, when I started my career and I had more time, I just reintroduced now the podcast version of that.
Frankie made it a pretty consistent day-to-day thing that he was listening to. And so through that, I became hooked as well. I will never forget being told that the only way that we could have biological children was through pursuing IVF. We sat down with a fertility doctor, and she said, yeah, we can do IVF. It'll be very easy. We'll make 15 embryos, and then we'll just use the best one to make sure that you get the baby. And I remember just leaving that conversation thinking, you're going to create 15 children? And then what?
By the time that we got the diagnosis that we couldn't have kids, biological children naturally, we had already spent quite a bit of time with the Colson Center resources. And so for us, it was sort of like a pre-made worldview or a pre-made way of thinking about that sort of thing.
And we were very fortunate that the Colson Center had also put out some resources on infertility, on embryo adoption, on some of the moral quandaries of IVF. And so reviewing those when it was pertinent to our life situation was certainly beneficial. There are over 1 million frozen embryos in the United States alone. And when we learned that, we thought, okay, I think we can try and do adoption through that route. So we contacted Nightlight Christian Adoptions. We connected with them, got into the match pool, matched with a family that had a large set of embryos. And then from that point on, we did a transfer, and we got this little lady in October of 2022. The Colson Center puts forth really excellent resources, and when you're navigating something as difficult as infertility or any other suffering situation that you might be in, reminding yourself of those truths, immersing yourself in those truths through resources such as the Colson Center resources, getting yourself a good community, plugging into your church, spending time in prayer, spending time in the Word, all of those things are critical to make sure that you're engaging on a day-to-day basis and doing things that are God-honoring. Because at the end of the day, we're called to glorify God. We need to be doing things that help us to do that the best way possible.